Marcos had always led a structured life. Young, intelligent, successful in his career, and with a clear vision of his future, he had never encountered anything that truly challenged him. That was until everything changed. He worked as a lawyer at a prestigious firm in the city center, where he spent long hours, always focused on the next case, the next contract. But what he didn't know was that his life was about to take an unexpected turn, something he never imagined he would have to face. It all started on a cold night when he encountered Clara, a homeless woman who was pregnant. Marcos passed by the same street every day, catching the bus to work. It wasn't unusual to see people in vulnerable situations, but that night was different. Clara was sitting on a park bench with a lost and tired look, holding a small bag near her abdomen. She was visibly pregnant, but appeared much younger than her actual age. Her eyes were exhausted, but there was something more in her expression, a sense of desperation. At first, he passed by like he did with everyone else he encountered on the street. But something made him stop. An impulse, maybe a feeling of guilt for continuing to ignore the suffering of others. He turned back and, with hesitation, approached Clara. "Are you okay?" Marcos asked, trying to sound casual. The woman looked up at him, surprised by his approach. Clara didn't respond immediately, only staring at him for a few seconds. It was clear she was in distress, but there was something in that moment that seemed to connect them, as if she was waiting for him. "Yes, just tired," Clara said in a raspy voice. "I'm waiting for my baby." Marcos felt a pang of empathy. He knew that the issues of people on the streets were complex, but something about Clara's situation affected him differently. He couldn't stop thinking about what was happening. "Can I help you with something? I don't want to be intrusive, but you shouldn't be here. This isn't a safe place for you or the baby." Clara looked at him, as if considering what he had just said. After a pause, she responded. "I have nowhere to go," she said with palpable sadness. "I'm 8 months pregnant, and I have no one." Marcos knew he couldn't just walk away. He wasn't someone who easily got involved, but something about this woman kept him there. "I can take you to a shelter or a hospital if you need. You need care." Clara looked at him, as though she couldn't believe what he was offering. After another pause, she agreed. "I don't want to go to a hospital. I just don't want to be alone." That's when Marcos decided to take her to the nearest shelter, but he knew it wouldn't be easy. The days that followed were marked by Clara's emotional distance, as if she couldn't believe someone actually wanted to help her. She didn't trust people, and Marcos understood that. But his life, which had always been orderly and controlled, was now taking a turn he had never anticipated. As Clara prepared to give birth, Marcos became more involved in her life, taking on more responsibility than he had imagined. Every time Clara went through difficult moments, he was there, ensuring she had enough food, was attended to, and was calm. But everything changed when, during a medical consultation, the doctors informed Marcos that he was the father of the baby. Clara had been sexually assaulted months before, while still living on the streets. She didn't clearly remember what had happened, but that thoughtless act, something she herself didn't fully understand, had now become an unavoidable reality for Marcos. It was a devastating blow. As someone who had always been in control of his life, he didn't know how to react to this new reality. With the birth of the baby, the situation became even more complicated. Clara gave birth to a fragile but living girl. The child, named Lara, entered the world with a mixture of relief and fear. Marcos, now fully involved, had to assume responsibility for a child he hadn't planned for or imagined, but who now needed protection and care. In the months that followed, Clara and Marcos formed a strange but solid alliance. Despite the challenges and the emotional scars they both carried, they built a relationship based on understanding, mutual respect, and above all, shared responsibility for Lara. However, Marcos knew that social acceptance would always be a constant obstacle. The judgmental stares followed him wherever he went. At work, among his friends and family, Clara's story and her baby became an uncomfortable topic. But as they faced the stigma and the obstacles together, Marcos realized something crucial. It didn't matter what society thought. What mattered was his family, and although he never imagined this future, he was determined to face it. Clara and Lara's story was shared with the world, sparking conversations about the responsibilities of parenthood and the importance of helping the most vulnerable. The video ends with a reflection from Marcos, who has learned to navigate the turbulent waters of unexpected fatherhood. Fatherhood isn't about easy choices, it's about being there when someone needs you, even when the whole world says you shouldn't. Want to know more about this story and many others we still have to share? Then don't forget to like this video and subscribe to the channel. Every day, a new story comes straight from our mysterious archive, filled with tales and accounts we've gathered from various sources. Cases with stories that will give you chills. Also, don't forget to share this video with that friend of yours who loves a good mystery.